Now, as former Secret Service agent and current security expert, Michael Verdin of the Lake Forest Group, thank you for being here. It's so important, I think, to learn from each of these incidents. I want to talk to you about the shooter. He was 18 years old. In your work, how often was it that people who were around a shooter knew in advance, knew that they were perhaps troubled, knew that they might be actually planning something violent or deadly?
Yeah, unfortunately, in most of these tragedies, there were signs or indications that that person had some type of life challenges. You mentioned Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was a former student. Stoneman Douglas was a former student. I know this was a student, but they have a familiarity with the location, and there is a history with in this case with the school.
Earlier in our last newscast, we talked a bit about firearms, and there was a study that just came out today in the journal Academic Pediatrics talking about adolescents who have access to firearms are more likely to commit suicide, either killing themselves or suicide by cop. Can you talk about that, the access to firearms and how it might contribute in cases like this?
Yeah, and that's the responsibility of the person who owns the firearm, right? So if you have a juvenile in your home, you have the responsibility to either have the gun unloaded or have the gun secured. You know, giving that child access to a firearm, that's why those statistics, unfortunately support that high level of suicide by themselves or by police officers.
If schools came to you and said, what can we do to try to keep our students and our staff safer, what do you advise?
Well, you see, there's no one single answer. In my line of work, it's called a layered approach. And when I say layered, everything has to work together. Technology like cameras and having card readers, for example, training like an active shooter drill, having an active shooter plan, having personnel. I'm not opposed to having trained armed personnel. Unfortunately, that's our society right now, to have an armed presence even at a school. So there's not one quick fix. It's all interrelated.
If you're a school administrator right now, is there something you should be doing, reaching out perhaps to a security firm or something to have those trainings?
Yes, I'd be doing a number of things. One, I would be looking to the local law enforcement for their support and their input. I would be looking to security professionals because a lot of these police departments, they're having staffing challenges right now. I would be looking at trainings. A lot of states and counties offer training. I'd be doing everything possible to protect all the people at that school.
I know a huge percentage of these mass shootings are carried out by people who are also involved in some way with domestic violence. So are there ways that we should be communicating better when there are domestic situations that this person may be a threat to the greater public as well?
Yeah, domestic violence is another dynamic that unfortunately that does end up in some cases as an active shooter incident. We've seen cases where like the ex comes to the workplace or the school or wherever and causes, some type of extreme violence, such as an active shooter. It goes back to knowing the signs. In my line of work, I work with forensic psychologists. I work with mental health professionals. I work with law enforcement. It's what I call a multidisciplinary approach. It's not just one person. It's really everybody. It's an all hands on deck type of attitude, really, to protect these kids.
Yeah, especially post-pandemic, mental health issues are really at a crisis point. Michael Verdin, thank you so much for your expertise.
You're welcome.